If you've heard of Neville Goddard, you've probably heard the quote, "An assumption, though false, if persisted in, will harden into fact." And even if you have never heard of Neville Goddard, I hope that that quote sparks something in you, because it truly does state that what you persist in, what you continually tell yourself, what you focus on, what you believe, where you continuously place your attention, what dominates your mind is what you're going to experience in life. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. In today's episode, I'll be sharing more from Neville Goddard and also from Napoleon Hill from his really famous book that I cannot believe was written almost 100 years ago, Think and Grow Rich. But we're going to talk about persistence, where you are dwelling, what thoughts are dominating your mind, and how you can use that to your advantage consciously. With that, I would like to welcome you to Unleashing Happiness. I am your host, Cecilia Hendrix, and this podcast is truly designed to teach you how to actually change your life, how to make improvements to your life using law of assumption, law of attraction principles, but also science-backed tools so that you can start to program your brain to create the life that you want to lead. I started years ago learning about the law of assumption, law of attraction, and I wanted to find a way to make it consistently work in my own life. And I found it through pairing practical tools and practical processes with these principles, right? I firmly believe in the power of our minds. I believe that God is everywhere around us, and that the more that we learn how to enjoy the life that we're leading, the more that we'll start to attract greater and greater things into our world. So I truly put together this podcast, my YouTube channel, Instagram, and TikTok. If you're not following me on those channels, make sure you go find me and subscribe. But I started to put together the content to teach you how to make these changes in your own life, to stop being on the hamster wheel of waiting until something happens, winning your life, right? Of when this happens, I can feel good. When I finally have the love of my life, then I can feel loved. When I finally get the money and the success that I'm searching for, then I can be happy and I can enjoy life. But you're always seeking, right? You're always going to be seeking something else. And when you're seeking it, that's the feeling that you're generating. And so I wanted to put together content to teach you how to actually start to make the changes in your life, how to actually manage your own moods and become emotionally regulated so that you can enjoy the life that you're leading now and start to manifest the life that you truly love and that you truly cannot wait to wake up to every day. And so I have created that in my own life. I've watched my clients create that as well. I've heard stories of people using my content and my courses in order to create that for themselves. And I just think it's phenomenal. And that's why I'm here. I want you to learn how to change your mindset, change your habits, and truly change your life. And before we jump in, I did want to do one reminder, actually two reminders. One is that I am speaking on April 30th in Colorado Springs. So I am speaking on emotional regulation and intelligence in the workplace. My speech is called Before You Rage Send. So if you are available, you can look up those tickets for Disrupt HR Colorado Springs. I believe there's still a couple left, but they may be sold out at this point. But that is on April 30th from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. I am speaking fourth in the lineup. I am super excited. I have my speech ready to go. I think it's phenomenal information. And there are some really, really great speakers who are going to be there. I'm truly looking forward to hearing a lot of these. I was able to meet them, learn more about what they do, and there's just some really great people who are going to be there. So I'm super excited. If you are not able to attend, don't worry. I will get a video of my speech and I will be sharing that across my channels. They said it takes about a month, so sometime around the end of May, I will be sharing that content across my channels as well. And I'll also send a note once I have that to those who are a member of my email list. Second announcement is that along with this podcast episode, I do have a free guide for you that is aligning to your desires. So a lot of what we're going to be talking about today is consistently placing your attention on your desired outcome, your wish fulfilled, and how to make those assumptions harden into fact into your own world. And so there is a guide that I have. It's called Align to Your Desires. Very simple, right? And I'll put a link down below if you would like to get that. It just gives you a really guided process so that you can decide what it is you actually want, because you need to know that part. You need to have the outcome in order to direct your attention to it. And then also how to consistently align to it, how to make those intentions so it's very front of mind for you. And all of that said, I'm going to go ahead and jump into the chapter on faith from Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Now, I wanted to remind you that this is part of our series that is counting down to summer. So at the end of this episode, I'm going to give you some very distinct actions that you can start to do to make sure that you're aligning to your desire. Again, you can grab the guide if you want, but if you don't want to use the guide, that's totally fine. But I am going to give you actions that are from Think and Grow Rich and also from Neville Goddard's Techniques and Tools to make sure that each day you are literally training your mind to focus on your actual desire. Not focus on what's lacking, not focus on what's not going well, but consistently place your attention on the thing that you want to experience. Napoleon Hill writes that it is a well-known fact that one comes to believe whatever one repeats to oneself. Whether the statement be true or false, if a man repeats a lie over and over, he will eventually accept the lie as truth. Moreover, he will believe it to be true. Every man is what he is because of the dominating thoughts which he permits to occupy his mind. Thoughts which a man deliberately places in his own mind and encourages with sympathy, and with which he mixes any one or more of the emotions, constitute the motivating forces which direct and control his every movement, act, and deed. I want to break this down really quick of what he's saying, because it's very aligned with Neville Goddard and pretty much any other teacher that you may read in kind of a mystical area, or even like personal development and growth, right? It's saying that what you continuously tell yourself is what you're going to believe true, not only of yourself, but the way you're treated in the world. And if you're new here, or if you need a quick refresher, we talk often about how your mind is literally designed to filter out things that do not align to what you believe. So we are constantly all day long getting so much input, right? There's so many things to pick up on: people's body language, the tone of their voice, the colors around us, the cars that we see, the birds in the sky, all the things that we're hearing. And our brain is designed to filter some of that out so that we're not just constantly in a state of overstimulation. So then what happens is that your brain says, okay, I will focus on the things that you tell me are true. I will focus on the dominating thoughts that we have consistently. And I'm going to make sure that I'm confirming to me and you that we are correct. That goes back to believing whether you're lucky or unlucky, whether you believe that everything works out for you or everything goes wrong for you, whether you believe that you are smart or not smart, whether you believe you are creative or not creative, whether you believe you are loved or unloved. Your brain is going to consistently show you the opportunities to prove to yourself that that is true. So when you consistently tell yourself a lie over and over and over, whether that lie be something positive that you want in your life or something that you don't want in your life, when you consistently tell it to yourself over and over and over, it becomes your dominating thought. It crowds out your consciousness. Neville Goddard often talks about the power of persistence and how you need to persist in your wish fulfilled, that desired outcome, the feeling that you're looking for, your personal goals, the things that you want to obtain, whether those are material or just the way you want to feel, the way you want to wake up, the way you want to view yourself. The more that you return back to those, you crowd out your mind of anything but that belief. I recently listened to a podcast episode. I'll put it down below. It's from the Save Yourself podcast, which I absolutely love. And she had a guest on, and he was talking about how for years he told himself a lie over and over and over, and it was devastating. It was a very difficult thing for him to revisit consistently from his own childhood. But what he was telling himself was a lie. But that lie had become a belief to him, and it was shaping his own behaviors, because what you believe true of yourself are going to shape your actions. They're going to shape the things that you do, the things that you think, the way that you talk to yourself. This is how you start to change your life, is by changing what you consistently tell yourself. When people talk about this, like being delulu, I don't know if you've heard this, but it's like all across TikTok, all across Instagram, it's like just be delulu in whatever it is that you want to obtain. And a lot of times people are taking this a bit too far or maybe not quite understanding it. But to truly be delulu means to consistently tell yourself what it is you want to experience, to consistently return back to the feeling of the wish fulfilled, to consistently return to your desired outcome, because the more that you return to it, the more you have no choice, literally no choice, but to be directed towards the attainment of that outcome. Your mind is going to say, oh no, we're getting that. We believe this true of ourselves. We have to make it true. And it will actually change the actions that you naturally want to do each day. If you tell yourself that you are completely unhealthy, unmotivated, and lazy, that is the way you're going to spend your day. But if you start telling yourself, I take care of me, I love my body, I want to feel good, be healthy, be active, and experience more of the world like hiking to the top of a mountain, you're going to naturally wake up and get outside and go start doing workouts. Those are going to be the actions that you take because those are what you believe would be the actions of a healthy person. I'm going to read a little bit from a Neville Goddard lecture that I will also link down below. But he says we rise above this level through the act of assumption. For an assumption, though false, if persisted in, will harden into fact. As William Blake said, if the fool will persist in his folly, he will become wise. There is nothing God cannot do. Do not think that one who is famously rich has an influx of spirit which differs from yours. He is imagining wealth either wittingly or unwittingly, but you can do it knowingly. If he does not know what he was doing, he can lose his wealth and not know how to recover it. But I am asking you, regardless of your financial situation, to assume wealth knowingly. If tomorrow you would again return to your former state, bring wealth back by claiming, I am wealthy, for there is only one God. He who creates poverty also creates wealth, as there is no other creator. He continues later to say, while you are here, you can assume any desire for yourself and those you love. Then you can dare to believe in what you have assumed, and if you continue your assumption, you will express it. But you must believe or you will die in your sins. Always talking to yourself, you are telling yourself that unless you believe you are the man you want to be, you will remain being the man you don't want to be, therefore dying in your sins. Now let's talk about this really quick because I know Neville's talking about dying in your sins. So Neville Goddard shares that sinning is actually not obtaining the things that you want. It's not being aligned to the person that you want to be. It's not embodying the life that you want to lead. It's like missing the mark in life. And what Neville is sharing here is that you believe in your assumptions, and that belief is what is going to harden those into fact. And when you truly believe in them, you have no other option but to express them. And so he's saying the exact same thing as Napoleon Hill, which I'm going to go back to some that he talks about as well in his chapter on faith. He says, the human mind is constantly attracting vibrations which harmonize with that which dominates the human mind. Any thought, idea, plan, or purpose which one holds in one's mind attracts. From the vibrations of the ether, a host of its relatives adds these relatives to its own force, and it grows until it becomes the dominating, motivating master of the individual whose mind it has been housed. Now that's kind of a mouthful. Actually, I had to record that a couple of times because it's a little bit of a mouthful. But essentially, he's saying you have to make the thought dominating. It needs to crowd out your consciousness. It needs to become the belief that you have faith in. So the next logical question is, okay, how do I build the faith? Now we can do this a couple different ways, right? And I'm going to teach you a few different ways that you can go about this using teachings of Neville Goddard and using the teachings of Napoleon Hill. Because when it comes down to it, it's what you put in your mind. It's what you make your own belief, regardless of the technique that you use to get there. Remember, your techniques don't actually have the power. It's your belief that has the power. The techniques are your stepping stones in order for you to get there. So I'm first going to share the actions from Neville Goddard. Now, Neville Goddard really teaches a lot about visualization. He teaches around the state akin to sleep, which is either meditation or as you're drifting off to sleep at night. And he says that is the perfect time to bring into your subconscious mind the things that you want to experience, the solutions that you want to have, the feelings that you want to experience, anything you want, right? And he says, do not limit yourself. You can experience anything that you want. You just need to crowd out your own belief system so that you have faith in that desired outcome, in that wish fulfilled. Now, the state akin to sleep can be obtained in a couple different ways. One is to get yourself into a meditative state of mind, right? Do some breathing exercises. Neville recommends in his earlier works to tell yourself, I am sleepy, I am sleepy, I am sleepy. So you kind of have that that twilight period right before you drift off to sleep, and that you'll pull up the feeling in the way that he recommends, and the way that he did his feeling was through a visualization. So Neville Goddard could definitely see very well in his mind. I am not someone who can, right? I know that my daughter can, and sometimes she explains to me what it's like, and my mind is like blown because that's not the way mine works. But I have worked on it, and my visualization has actually improved, but nothing where I can see like a super clear image. But Neville often also said that you can use any sense that works for you. So I can hear, I can imagine a phone call where someone is telling me something. And so that's what I'll do. I'll just imagine a friend being excited for me, or imagine a friend telling me that they have obtained something phenomenal in their life. I will imagine my brother saying that something really wonderful has happened to him, because I know that as I give to others, I am truly giving to myself. And honestly, it feels good to give to others. It feels good to imagine them in the states that they want to embody, living a life that they truly love. It's just something that I really enjoy doing, and that I do quite often for quite a few people in my life, that I just like to imagine them living the life that makes them feel the most lit up, the most happy, the most joyful, just a life that they truly love. And so you can definitely also use one of these techniques, either doing a visualization that implies that what you are seeking is already done, or by hearing somebody. If you hear a phone call better, you can imagine that you received a phone call. You can imagine seeing a text, anything that brings you into the feeling of your wish fulfilled, that it has already happened, that you are this person. And now I'll return back to Think and Grow Rich, because he says any idea, plan, or purpose may be placed in the mind through repetition of thought. This is why you're asked to write out a statement of your major purpose or definite chief aim. Commit it to memory and repeat it in audible words day after day until these vibrations of sound have reached your subconscious mind. We are what we are because of the vibrations of thought which we pick up and register through the stimuli of our daily environment. Resolve to throw off the influences of any unfortunate environment and to build your own life to order. Taking inventory of mental assets and liabilities, you will discover that your greatest weakness is lack of self-confidence. This handicap can be surmounted and translated into courage through the aid of the principle of autosuggestion. So in Think and Grow Rich, what he's saying to do is to decide what it is that you want, write a statement, right? Put it in the present form, write a statement of your intention of what it is that you want and your intentions of how you are going to obtain that, right? What are you going to do to get there? Not necessarily the how, but how are you going to show up as that person? What are the changes that you're going to make? And so I always recommend doing an intention setting the night before that is going into your next day, right? I just did a YouTube video on this. I will put the link to that YouTube video down below. But essentially what it is it's a nighttime routine that aligns you to the feelings that you wish to obtain. And part of that is writing out intentions for your next day, saying, this is how I'm going to embody this person. And it's because you are showing up and repeatedly returning to that wish fulfilled. And part of that is to return to what it is you have written. Read it out loud to yourself, write it again, continue to return time and time again to this chief aim that you have listed. Right? To your desired outcome, to your wish fulfilled, whatever you want to call it, your personal goal. Just continue to return to it. You can do it multiple times per day. I do not want this to become obsessive. Okay, I do want to caveat that. I want to make this very clear. I do not believe that you have to say it 1,000 times. I don't believe that you have to say it 500 times. I believe just by starting your morning focused on it and ending your day focused on it, Assign 30 minutes a day that you're going to focus on this feeling. When you wake up, before you go to bed, maybe even once at lunch, right? Just read it, say it again to yourself. A quick reminder of, yes, I am motivated, I am focused, and I am going to continuously return to this feeling until it manifests in my life. This is persistence. This is being delulu. So I hope that you found this helpful. This is definitely going to help you truly align to the person that you want to be, step into the life that you want to be living. If you have any questions, by all means, please definitely reach out. My email is unleashinghappiness@ceciliahendrix.com. Or if you're listening on YouTube, you can definitely just leave a comment down below. I'd like to ask a small favor that if you found benefit in this episode, if you could please share it out with somebody that you love, that you think would also find benefit and that it would help them in their own life, I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. And if you wouldn't mind leaving a rating and a review, that definitely helps me out. It tells the algorithm like, hey, this content is wonderful. You should share it out with other people, and you're helping others, right? You never really know who may need to hear this message. So by sharing this on your own channels or sending it out to a friend, you may be giving them the sign that they truly needed and the actions that they needed to make great improvement in their own life. And that is such a gift to give someone. So I wish you nothing but the best. I hope you have an absolutely beautiful week. And I really do truly thank you for being here with me, especially if you've made it all the way to the end. I cannot express to you how grateful I am for each and every one of you who is listening. This podcast, this content is something that I just love putting out. I love getting the messages from people who are saying how much it's helping them in their own lives, the changes that they're making to their life, the positive things that they're creating in their life. Like it's so amazing. And just know that through the sound waves of however you're listening to this, I am giving you a big, big hug because I just think that you are remarkable and wonderful. And I know that you deserve a life that you love. So I wish you all the best. Have a wonderful, wonderful week.